What's going on inside the brain of an autistic person? Why do they respond a certain way? How does it feel to be autistic? Now, I can't speak for everyone because each autistic person has a different, unique experience with autism, but there's always a ton swirling around in my head. Today, I'm going to share 6 key parts of what my autistic experience often feels like as a late diagnosed high-masking autistic adult. Number 1, wow, you don't feel or hear that? Pretty much all people have sensory experiences. It's part of being human. But for autistic people, this is on a whole nother level. We can easily get overwhelmed and overloaded by certain senses, and this can differ from every autistic person. But visual input, like flashing lights, even the sunlight being inconsistent on my face when I'm driving, can lead to sensory overload. Same with other senses. Texture, which is why a lot of autistic people cut out the tags on their shirts, or like loose-fitting clothes. Tastes, which is why many autistic have unique and restrictive eating habits. And it's not only the food's taste, but also the texture that can be overwhelming or just plain gross. Certain smells can create anxiety or headaches or nausea very quickly, while others can be really soothing. And sound, sound is so tricky because for me, I really struggle to filter sounds. I just can't do it. When I'm tired and someone asks me 5,000 questions at Starbucks while there are clanging dishes, music blasting, other people ordering alongside me, baristas shouting people's names, my brain shuts down. Out of nowhere, it shuts down. I completely zone out. I mean, I'm there physically, but not mentally. I don't even know where I go. Nobody does. But I can tell you with 100% certainty, it's not Starbucks. Debbie's had entire conversations with me before while ordering drinks at Starbucks, and I don't remember any of them. And I never will, because I wasn't there. The different noises teleport me to a special place, because I can't filter individual sounds. All sounds are treated equally in my brain. And when you're ordering drinks at Starbucks, that can really suck. So when I'm around non-autistic people, I often think, you don't hear that? Those lights don't bother you? Oh, why aren't you running away from that smell? It seems like a superpower to be able to block it all out. And I get jealous of that ability. A lot. Especially when I'm ordering drinks at Starbucks. But actually, I'm also realizing it's kind of awesome to notice it all too. It gives me the ability to notice sounds most people wouldn't notice or hear. And that's pretty cool. But it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes too. Depends on the day. Number 2. Filtering or rephrasing how I talk. With my sensory experiences, I hear people say, dude, sound isn't that loud. Or other responses that show me they clearly don't experience the world like me. And this feeling is reinforced over and over and over when I interact with other people too. I'm constantly misunderstood, and what I say is misinterpreted all the time. No, it's not because I'm not saying it clearly. It's because other people put what I say through their own filter constantly and add in their own assumptions. The worst part? They usually don't ask either. They just make assumptions. Like when my voice gets loud, but my face is serious.
Wow. Chris must be really upset.
Nope. I'm excited and actually feeling splendiferous. I'm loving every minute of it and really feeling that inner passion. Passion! Passion! But you keep assuming I'm mad. And now you're looking at me like I'm mad. And no, I didn't say that. No, that's not what I meant. No, I wasn't being sarcastic. What? No, I'm not mad. Well, actually, you know what? I am mad. A minute ago, I was splendiferous. But right now, I'm mad. I'm livid. Like I just shit a walrus. And it's all because of the constant reminders from me and many other autistic people that we're misunderstood because of the double empathy issue. I have a full video on that I'll link in the description. But basically, the interpretation of what we say or how we say it is so frequently misconstrued by non-autistic people. So after a lifetime of this, in basically every interaction, I'm constantly thinking, wait, that's not what I said. Hold on. Why does she look upset now? What did they say? That's a completely different thing. Wait, did they not understand what I just said? Having to do that extra thinking to filter or rephrase how I talk can be a bit exhausting. But I'm also just more aware that what I say isn't always what my listener will hear. Number 3, Your reading the room is different than me. And going along with the double empathy issue is the common autistic experience of reading the room. Call us psychics or just autistic, but many high-masking autistic people constantly try to analyze what everyone else is feeling or thinking all the time. I do this all the time. And the funny thing about it is, I suck at it. You'd think I'd be able to read the room at least half of the time. But no, I'm wrong. Almost all the time. And it's probably because when I walk into a room, I think everyone in it is trying to kidnap me, which is odd because nobody is trying to kidnap me. And that makes sense because I'm not really worth kidnapping. I mean, if I was a kidnapper, I would not kidnap me, especially knowing that when I get nervous, I gas up. Guaranteed. After the build-up, I can't stop ripping ass. It's completely out of control. Non-stop farting. Loud, acidic ass pops. It's like machine gun fire. And it's gross. It really is. It's also distracting and painful. All in all, it's a highly unpleasant experience. Anyway, what was I talking about? We try to read the room and sense that aura that puts our brains on guard. It's like trying to be one step ahead all the time, but with all kinds of people who act and display emotions in different ways. And let's face it, because of anxiety and past traumatic experiences, including bullying for so many autistics, we are so sensitive to how it feels when we walk into a room or start any interaction. We don't want those stressful situations to happen again. So, this could change our approach when we read bad vibes in a room or are just feeling especially stressed or uncomfortable. Also should be noted that we don't always do this correctly, which can lead to some autistic people being overly worried and asking, "Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong?" We're so used to doing things incorrectly, but we also have a tendency to have cognitive distortions or our own warped perceptions of things based on our own experiences. Number 4. So I'm not weird, just different, and other people feel this way too. So because of the things I've already mentioned, autistic people often feel different pretty much all of our lives. But if we were undiagnosed, this meant we just felt lonely, isolated, misunderstood, usually anxious, and often feeling depressed. Basically, all our lives. Later, we might get diagnosed, like me, and suddenly we feel a sense of relief. Oh, so I'm not weird. I'm just different. And wow, so many other people feel this way too? That's an amazing feeling, finding that spot where we belong and knowing others can share what we feel. But then there's also that period of relearning ourselves and figuring out what we need. For me, getting diagnosed as a 41-year-old meant that I had over 40 years of experiences, habits, things that I thought were me, but actually weren't. Getting up to an alarm every day? Nope. That's not good for me. Birthday parties? Not interested. Going out to eat at a bustling restaurant? I'd rather jump into a frozen lake of duck shit. Did I know that my whole day could be infinitely better when I started getting to know the real me? Nope. But I do now. But this period of wanting answers, suddenly stumbling upon them, but then needing time to process and relearn ourselves, that's a unique autistic experience. It's like learning you were adopted, and now you're trying to find your origin. Who you really are is buried deep, but it's there. And finding it, well, that's passion. Passion! 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 I have passion! Passion! Number 5. Yes, I'm paying attention. Most of the time. A lot of people have heard that eye contact is challenging for many autistic people, and I fall into that category. Does that mean I can't do it? Nope. I can make eye contact like a champ. I can even do it without blinking. I can do any kind of eye contact look you want. Does eye contact mean I'm listening? Absolutely not. When I'm listening, I'm usually not making eye contact. And other signs of paying attention are just not the same for me and many other autistic people, like having a response to a question right after you asked it. Many autistic people need longer processing time. We're not just thinking of the answer to your question at face value. We're breaking it down because we're so often misunderstood. I want to make sure I'm really answering the question. And a lot of autistics are kind of perfectionists too. We're trying to come up with the exact right answer. I chalk that one up to our rigidity in thinking at times and lack of flexibility. What do you mean there's no right answer? Surely one must be better than others. And I'm on a top secret mission within my brain to think of that one. So I sit there and think. But to many people, there's basically a 1 to 2 second period of time. And then they either repeat the question, interrupting my thinking, so now I'll need to start all over again. Thank you very much. or they will ask another one, or they just move on. None of these are good options for me. Basically, the only time I'll be ready to respond right away is when I already pre-plan the answer in my head. Like my order at Starbucks, until I get asked 1,000 questions after my order that I didn't think of. No, I don't want whipped cream. No, I don't want oat milk, or almond milk, or a blend of banana and coconut milk sprinkled with a thin layer of zinc and tropical sunshine. What? I have no freaking idea how many pumps of syrup I want. The name? What are you talking about? The name of what? My drink? Oh, my name, Debby. I mean Chris. I'm Chris. Sorry. Debby usually does this whole ordering part, so that's why I said Debby. But she's not here today, so that's probably a little bit weird that I immediately said her name when it's not my name, or probably the name you were looking for. Can I get that drink to go, please? So anyways, eye contact doesn't mean I'm listening. It's usually the opposite. And a lot of the time when you think I wasn't paying attention because I didn't respond quickly enough, well, I was paying attention. Really, really well. I was probably hyper-focusing on the minute details because the autistic brain zeroes in. I mean, we really get in there. All up in there. We're really exploring the space in there. It's all happening in all kinds of ways. Basically, we are every and all kinds of being up in there when it comes to whatever it was I was just talking about. What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, we just need a little bit of time to think. Bruh. Number 6, not everyone struggles with these things? You mean eye contact isn't a challenge for everyone? Okay, I did start to notice that pretty early in life. That's why I got really good at masking, because I just assumed it was supposed to be fine. So even if it wasn't for me, I sure wasn't going to say that. People would think I was crazy, which is actually true. I am, but that's a different kind of crazy. But once I was diagnosed as autistic, I started to realize there's a whole bunch of other things that are a struggle for me that just aren't that challenging for most non-autistic people. What the heck? Like answering the phone when I don't know who's calling, answering the door when I don't know who's knocking, keeping up with everyday tempo of conversations, focusing on one person talking when there's noise in the background, handling unexpected changes to my day. I also struggle with calming down after getting upset, or even being able to identify and explain how I'm feeling as I'm feeling it, or losing certain abilities, like being able to put together coherent sentences, or remember specific words that I know. I just can't get them at certain times, especially during meltdowns or burnout. But Chris, you just told me this a couple days ago. How could you forget that? Well, sometimes my brain gets super overwhelmed, and sometimes it's hard for me to remember my phone number. Actually, I still don't know what my phone number is. It's kind of embarrassing, but I have to put my number in the notes section on my phone because my brain is too full to remember all the numbers. I used to forget my locker combination in high school all the time too. So feeling like, why is going to the grocery store and remembering your PIN number for your debit card easy for everyone else? Or how come small talk doesn't bother them? Let's face it, the world is still learning about many of the overlapping issues that often come with autism. Sure, there's some, especially the ones that are most obvious at school, that are better understood. I'm talking dyslexia, or challenges with motor skills, ADHD, things that are obvious to teachers and also often ones they are trying to improve upon first. Those are pretty easy to spot, although ADHD still needs some work. But other ones, like aphantasia, which refers to not being able to visualize things in your head. This is one that's pretty new to me, but as an educator, I'm thinking how often teachers explain things to kids and ask them to make a mental picture. If they can't, a lot of teachers would probably say, well, try harder. They might say it a little bit nicer, but the same point, not, it's very possible that you just can't. And that's okay. Let's try to figure out another way to do it. Because nobody really knows about aphantasia yet. Same with misophonia, alexithymia, and monotropic thinking, which is huge in education. Think how many times a day we ask kids and teachers to change activities and transition to different things. It's constant. Interrupt an autistic kid while he's in the middle of a project, and you'll likely get a meltdown. But is that because he just has challenges of emotional regulation due to autism? That's not only it. His monotropic thinking might have been derailed. But if people don't even know the struggles because they aren't that common outside of autism, it's a lot harder to empathize or help. Which is why that kid doesn't realize it's not that he's a bad kid or he responds more strongly than his classmates. It's that his struggles are misunderstood because they are unique autistic struggles. So, for these reasons and more, being an autistic adult in today's world can be hard. But with better understanding of what the autistic experience is like from people, like me, who are actually autistic, we can improve this experience together. If you're an autistic person, what would you add to this list of what being autistic looks and feels like for you? All of your comments help everyone in our community learn together. It's also nice knowing we're not alone in how we feel, especially for other late diagnosed, high-masking autistic people like me. And don't forget to share with someone you think could learn from this or who might connect with this video. Thanks for your support and for being here. Oh my God, I think it's a helicopter. I have to stop because of the tractor. That's a tractor. I can tell it's a tractor. At least it's not sheep or a pigeon.